Hello and welcome back to another video. In this one we're going to go over the NFL for Monday, November the 17th. Monday Night Football, Dallas Cowboys versus the Las Vegas Raiders. And as you can see, the opening odds are on the screen. Minus 120 for Dallas, plus 100 for Las Vegas. And we're going to go over this real quick. Now the spread looks like this opening. These are all opening odds. 1.5 point favorites are the Cowboys at minus 105 cost. 1.5 point underdogs are for the home Raiders at minus 115 cost. Total looks like this: over 45.5 at minus 110 cost, under 45.5 at even minus 110 cost. Now it's even because the minus 110 is with the extra 10 is with the juice, which is what the sports books make their money off of. It's basically like a fee, which is why even is minus 110. But yeah, let's go over this we'll go over the current odds. Let me scroll down a bit. All right. Minus 194 for the Cowboys, plus 162 for the Raiders currently. That is early Monday morning. That is currently. These are the current odds. 3.5 point favorites are the Cowboys at minus 105 cost. 3.5 point underdogs are the Raiders at minus 115 cost. Over under 50.5, minus 104 going over, minus 118 going under. And let's get started with where we are here. Opening money line, minus 120 on the money line, plus 100 on the money line. Plus 1 plus 20 is 21. 12 plus 0 is 12. And 1 plus 2 plus 0 equals 3. And that's how it's called reduction. You separate the integers, add them together. And we apply that to any parallels, which is why I take that only on the opening odds though, because the current odds change all the time. So now we are going to go to the expected value before we get into the splits and the breakdown of the odds throughout the week. Now, what is expected value? The measure of what a bettor can expect to win or lose on each bet placed on the same odds time and time again. EV, probability of winning. Well, that's the formula. It's right here at the bottom, and it is based off $100 wagers. Now, opening at minus 120 for Dallas, plus 100 for Las Vegas. That gives the Cowboys a 52% win percentage and a 48% win percentage for the Raiders, which is negative $4 for the Raiders and negative $4.67 for the Cowboys. Cowboys win percentage 63%, 37% for Las Vegas. Currently, that is based off the minus 194, negative 194, plus 162 for the Raiders. Negative $4.53 expected value for the Cowboys. Negative $3.06 expected value for Las Vegas. All right, let's get to the odds movements throughout the week. Now, Tuesday, we're going to start on Tuesday 11/11, and we're going to do Thursday 11/13, November 13th and November 11th. Minus 196 are the odds for the Cowboys on the 11th. Plus 164 for Las Vegas. 92% win percentage then for the Cowboys on the betting, 96% on the money for the Cowboys, 4% on the money, and 8% on the betting for the Raiders. Dallas and Las Vegas, minus 190, plus 160 on Thursday on the money line. On the 13th, 91% win percentage, betting percentage, on the Cowboys at this minus 190. The odds dropped by 6, and Las Vegas dropped by 4. And the betting dropped by 1% for the Cowboys. 96% stayed the same, consistent on the money. Spread looked like this on Tuesday. 3.5 point favorites are the Cowboys at minus 105 cost. 73% on the betting. 87% on the money going with the Cowboys on the spread. 27% going with Las Vegas on the betting. 13% on the money going with Las Vegas at 3.5 point underdogs. Minus 115 cost. Thursday spread minus 3.5, minus 105 cost. On the 13th, 77% win percentage. Cowboys increased by 4 from Tuesday to Thursday. 66% on the money. They dropped 21%. That is significant. The cost stayed the same, however. The cost stayed the same. And why is that? As long as Las Vegas currently, they are also 3.5 point favorites. So that has remained consistent beyond the opening, that has remained, besides the opening, that has remained consistent throughout the week. Over under. Now, well, why that is, and the cost didn't change even though such a drastic change in the money. Because late towards the games, when the sharps go in, that's why the sharps bet late. The sharps are the heavy bettors. They are more than likely, as long as this minus 3.5 points stays, 3.5 point underdog stays on Las Vegas at minus 115 cost, while their money is increasing throughout the week. Look out for a 3-point game in this one, as long as that holds up. The cost holds up, that is, along with the 3.5 point favorites. Because if this goes down to 3 and the Cowboys win by a field goal, Cowboys win the spread. But as long as that 0.5 stays hovering above that 3 points, look out. Raiders could take that spread, especially since they're increasing on the money and the cost hasn't changed, and it is a higher cost. Over under 50.5 points on Tuesday, minus 110 cost, even. Now 50.5 points, that has remained consistent as well throughout the week. On Tuesday, 11-11, 37% betting, 46% money. Under 63% betting, 54% money. On Thursday, same total, 50.5 points over and under. Minus 105 this time going over, minus 115 going under. The cost decreased for the over, increased for the under, and the betting dropped by 4% on the under, but it increased to 69% on the money. Down here, we're going to go where current is. It is now 73%. The total is still the same at 50.5. Minus 104 cost this time going over, minus 118 currently. This is current odds going under. Now, 73% going over, the highest of the week currently. 51% going over now, the highest of the week, but the cost has increased for the under. They could be trying to trick you to go with that over, and the under could take it, but the under has been winning throughout the week, thus the higher cost, which is an indicator the under could take it in this one if the under ends up with the higher cost. Watch out as we approach game time, which is why I encourage people to bet late. So as far as money line, what you want to look out for is any adjustment in this minus 194 to plus 162. Whenever you see these off costs for the money line, like minus 194, plus 162, things like that, the more than likely the favorite could take it only if they're leading consistently like the Cowboys have with this betting percentage and with the money percentage. But the trick is who's going to get the spread. That's when you want to look out for, especially when the money line costs are a little bit off. That's what you want to look out for. 56% here, 33% here. That's what you want to look out for. 56. Well, what you want to look out for is how consistent have they been throughout the week. And as you can see, these spreads have significantly decreased on the money for the Cowboys. They're down to 44% on the spread currently. It is early Monday morning. So you want to look for a higher cost for the Cowboys in that instance. If you don't get that, they won't take the spread. As long as they stay underneath the Raiders in cost. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. You guys take care. Pray every day. Picks will be on the Patreon along with props. Take it easy. Pray every day. Join the Patreon. See you in the next video.